Hi, it's Representative Rick Larson with this week's weekly recap with Rick. The bigger news about the floor of the House of Representatives is that yesterday the House passed the fiscal year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act. It's a massive bill that sets defense policy and future funding levels for our own Department of Defense. And as always, I have focused on advocating for those items that are important for Northwest Washington State. I co-led an amendment that would help Island Health Hospital Anacortes achieve significant cost savings. As a result of this amendment, the hospital would be able to maintain current services. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that amendment passed, and so we're going to continue to work to assist healthcare access in the broader Anacortes area. I also submitted an amendment to require the Department of Defense to study the impact of the Trump administration tariffs on the defense industry, the tariffs that will be put on products that our women and men in the military are using. I've heard directly as well from local businesses, local families, about how Trump's idiotic trade war is impacting them. And in fact, today, Thursday, when I'm recording this, the inflation numbers are coming out and we're continuing to see an uptick in inflation. Those tariffs are starting to bite into your wallets. The Department of Defense has to take into account the cost of these tariffs when they're purchasing for the U.S. military. Now, again, while these two provisions were not included in the NDAA, they certainly show my continued commitment to increase access to health care and my commitment to lower prices for you. Several other priorities were included in the bill, including a 3.8% pay increase, more access to infertility treatments and IVF, a provision to increase artificial intelligence education was included to be part of the annual cybersecurity training for the women and men in our military. There's $400 million authorized to continue to support the people and the military of Ukraine against the unjustified Russian invasion of Ukraine. And we repealed the 1991 and 2002 authorizations to use military force. Ultimately, though, I voted against this House-passed version of the NDAA. There are many other provisions in that made this bill untenable. But as this bill moves now to the Senate and the House and Senate get together, I'll continue to work to try to make sure that we have good provisions there, strong provisions that deal specifically with supporting the women and men in the military, including those great women and men who are focused on working out of NAS Whidbey Island, Naval Station Everett, and the Armed Forces Readiness Center there in the Smoky Point area. Thanks so much. That's this week's recap with Rick, and we'll see you next time.